Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review. And today we're taking a look at something that I'm super excited about. What we have here are some Monster Force figures. Today we're just going to be looking at one of these guys, but I do plan on making videos for all these figures. I'm going to do a couple of group videos and a couple of solo videos, so keep an eye out for all of those. But I want to give a huge thank you to the folks over at Big Bad Toy Store and Fresh Monkey Fiction for sending these out to me to review. I do appreciate it. Monster Force, for me, is like one of the most exciting lines out there right now. I'm a big fan of anything that takes like classic monsters and reimagines them in some way. So I've been really looking forward to these and I'm super hyped up to talk about them. So let's go ahead and get into the first one. Alrighty, so the first figure in season 1 that we're going to look at is Declan Van Helsing. And jumping right into it, starting off with the box, I absolutely love the box art on these figures. As you can see here, we get some artwork of the figure itself, and I love how they have him standing in front of like a haunted house. That is so dope. And then up front, it says Operation Monster Force. On the side of the box, it says Monster Force #1, Declan Van Helsing, Big Bad Workshop. And if you're not aware, these figures are kind of a collaboration between Fresh Monkey Fiction and Big Bad Toy Store's new like toy production department, which is called Big Bad Workshop. So I'm really excited to see what comes of Big Bad Workshop. I think it was a really good decision for them to get together with Fresh Monkey Fiction because they have been killing it for a couple of years. Their Naughty and Nice collection was awesome. And, you know, I'm really excited about the Monster Force, like I said. So I think that it was a good call for Big Bad Toy Store to get in with them. And then taking a look at the back of the packaging, we get some information about the lore behind the Monster Force. We get another look at the figure, and then down here we get a look at all the other figures from season 1. And the most exciting thing about the packaging here for me is when you open this up and look right here, we get some awesome looking comic book artwork. And the little bit of, you know, comic panels that we have here actually informs you quite a bit about the character and the situation that he's in. So that is really cool. And then on this side, we get a look at the figure itself along with the accessories. One thing that you do need to be careful of is on this copy, the Velcro doesn't stick to the box as well as it should. So if you open it too fast, you kind of run the risk of removing this, but you know, you could just stick it back there. It's not really going to damage anything, but maybe just something you want to be aware of. Aside from that, the packaging on this guy is freaking awesome. But enough about the pretty box. Let's go ahead and get him out and take a look. Alrighty, so here we have Declan Van Helsing right out of the box. And as you could see, this is a really dope figure. I do like the design, like the modern reimagining of Van Helsing. I think it does look really good, although I do wish that there were some more like monster elements in there, you know, maybe some like cloves of garlic or, you know, like some crucifixes or something, some type of weaponry to make him feel a little bit more like a monster hunter. As it is right now, he feels like a, you know, like a modern soldier or something, which is cool. That always makes for good action figures. And I think this is a really well done soldier, but, you know, there's not a whole lot to make him feel like Van Helsing. The head sculpt is obviously unique and looks amazing. He's got that scar on the eye, so he probably got that fighting a monster. And the tattoos have some like monster things going on, so that's all nice. But I do wish that like the, you know, the gear had some monster hunter elements. I think that would have been dope. But as it is right now, this is a great looking figure. As you can see, he has pinless elbows and pinless knees. All the sculpting work on him is really nice. And he does feel very similar to like G.I. Joe Classified or Action Force in regards to actual feel and the articulation setup. He's very similar to those types of lines. So I think he's going to look really good with them. But yeah, man, this is awesome. And you know what's ridiculous about this figure? The amount of accessories that he comes with. Oh my God. We'll get into all that, but there's so much that you could do with this guy. Like, he has all these pouches and things all over the vest that are all removable and modular. So you could like pop those out, put different things in there, change it up, and really customize it to your liking, you know? So that's an awesome feature. And I think they did a pretty good job with the sculpting and the details on Van Helsing. Starting off at the head, I like this head sculpt quite a bit. It kind of has Punisher vibes or something. From some angles, it looks exactly like the old school Toy Biz Marvel Legends, I want to say Series 4 Punisher that they did back in the day. Look at that. But yeah, that's a great looking head sculpt. The 5 o'clock shadow looks nice. The eyes look good. He's got the scar on this side that looks good. I like how he has a little bit of gray in the temples. So you could tell he's kind of been at it for a while, you know? He's not new to this. But yeah, this is a good looking head sculpt. Really well done. And then moving down to the body, here is his vest. And we'll look at this a little more later because there's a lot going on here. Like all these pouches and stuff are all modular. You could pop them out and replace them with other things. So, you know, that's really dope. And then right here, he does have some like ammunition clips. And that looks like a flashlight maybe. And down here we have some more ammunition. And yeah, look at the vest, man. This is really well done. Got some green and black and silver for the buckles. Yeah, that looks dope. Some more holes for more, you know, pouches and sheaths and things like that. And I like the camo kind of look on there. Same thing up front. Even this comes off, this little plate. So yeah, the vest is really dope. And then down here at the belt, we have some like hooks and, you know, buckles and like I said, some ammunition. It looks like some kind of shotgun ammunition. Some more pouches back here. And then not a whole lot going on with the pants. You know, they look good and everything, but yeah. And then down here with the shoes, those look nice. And then check out the forearms. He's got some really nicely detailed tattoos. Look at that. You could see the skull. It's kind of hard to see what the tattoos are without being zoomed in. So now that I'm looking at it up close, I'm really impressed with how nice everything is. It's got to be tough to do tattoos, man. On a figure this small, and then he's got like some type of scripture or something written right there. That's dope. Oh, look at that. Is that like another skull? I'm sure I'm missing things looking at it through my camera, but maybe when I get on my computer, I'll be able to see what's going on here. But yeah, man, this looks good. And then there's these things around the wrist, and they're on the figure when you first take them out of the packaging, but I think these are, it's not like he's wearing bracelets. These are just so that like when you put on the gloved hands, you know, this is like part of the glove. And then you could see that the hands have a little bit of a wash in there. Like a greenish kind of weird wash. Pinless elbows, so that's nice. So yeah, this is really well sculpted. Got the shirt details. You can see that his shirt is like rolled up. It's not like it's just painted to right there and stopped. I like the gray shirt too. That looks good. Yeah, there's a lot of great detail on here. Everything on the vest looks nice. The head sculpt looks good. Those tattoos are incredible. And yeah, I think it's a really good looking figure. And when it comes to the accessories, that's really where they went crazy. Like there's so much stuff here. I was kind of blown away by the amount of stuff that he comes with. Typically, we don't see this many accessories with a figure that costs this much. To be honest with you, he has about the same amount of accessories as something like Mezco. Like, man, Fresh Monkey went all out with the accessories, and it's awesome to see. But let's go ahead and take a look. But starting off with the simple stuff, he comes with 8 different sets of hands. And really, it's 4 different styles, but we get 2 versions of each style. We have a bare hand version and a gloved version of each one of these different types of hands. So I'm not going to show every single set of hands on him, but just know every pair of hands that we look at, there's 2 different versions, gloved and bare. So first off, we get 2 sets of open hands, and then we get 2 sets of generic gripping hands, and then he has 2 sets of fists, and then lastly, he has 2 sets of gun gripping hands. And I love the fact that they gave him like 2 versions of each pair of hands. That is so cool. It gives you a lot of different options. And then he does come with a bunch of cool weapons, starting off with his knife. Check this out. This thing looks awesome. Look at the 2-tone blade, the handle with some paint detail. Yeah, they did some really nice paintwork on this little knife. And then we get a couple of handguns. As you could see, this is very nice. I like that golden trigger. That looks dope. And then he has this one over here, which looks very similar, but it's smaller. I'm not a gun expert, so I don't know exactly what these guns are, what type they are, but they do look cool. And like I said, they're very similar to each other. One is just bigger than the other. But I do like the gold trigger on that with the brown handle and the gold details. Yeah, both of these guns look really good. And then we get this really dope looking rifle. Check this thing out. There's a lot of great detail in there. I like the gold highlights, the red trigger. There's a lot of nice paintwork on here. Ooh, I love the stake at the end here. That's awesome. That's a Monster Hunter element, so that's cool. Check out the scope on the top, and he could hold it with no problem. So yeah, this is a cool looking gun. And it does have a removable magazine with the bullet painted on the top. And it comes with the magazine that kind of looks different, but it fits in there. So you kind of have your choice between the two different looks, like the one that goes straight in and then the curved one. So that is cool. And then he does come with 3 different muzzle flare effects. Here's the first one, and this does look really good. I like the translucent orange color with the yellow here at the end. So that looks nice. And as you can see, it just pegs into the end of the barrel. And yeah, that looks pretty good. And for the second one, he has this guy that's like a skinnier version. And it kind of looks like a bullet is being shot out. But this one is kind of crooked. Yeah, see, so that does kind of suck. So I got to see if I could get that straightened out somehow. And then finally, he has this bigger muzzle flare effect. And this is really nice too, but the peg on this is pretty bent. And I can't get it to go straight, but check it out. Like, that kind of sucks. And, you know, this is kind of dangerous right here, but I've been trying to bend it while it's in the gun because otherwise, it's hard to have any control while you're trying to bend it. But yeah, I don't know. It's a little iffy. I wish this one was straight. But even if it was straight and everything, it'd be hard to put it on the bigger rifle because of the metal stake that's there. So I do love the muzzle flare effects. I just wish that these ones were all straight and all good. But that's fixable, so no big problem there. And then he does come with a smoking gun effect, and this is awesome. I love this. And all of these effects fit in all the guns for the most part, except for, with the bigger muzzle flare effect trying to go into the rifle because of the stake. But as far as the pegs, they all go into all the different weapons. And then he does come with this really dope looking crossbow. Check this out. I love how we could see the dart here on the top. That is nice. But yeah, the details on this are really good. I like the paint job. The scope here in the front looks dope. And this is a weapon that definitely feels like something a monster hunter would have. So yeah, I like this a lot. And then he does come with a bunch of gear that you could add on to him. And I really like what they did here. As you could see, the vest has like a bunch of pouches and all these things going on. You could remove a lot of that and replace it with these other things. And he also has these things that you could put on his legs, and they're like these little plates so that you can mount different things. In this case, I have like the gun holster, and you can also put like his ammunition for his crossbow and all the different things that we have here. And this is cool, but the only thing I don't like about it is that this plate is it's really tight to the leg. So when you're popping these things on, they don't pop all the way on because the leg is kind of stopping them. So they can, come off really easily. I mean, they'll stay there, so it's cool and everything, but, it doesn't stay there securely as it would if, like, the leg wasn't right there stopping the peg from going all the way through. See what I mean? But I do think these are cool. And then moving on to the vest. The vest has all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So you see how we have these pouches? You can remove these and replace them with other things. So as you can see here, he has like a pouch for his walkie-talkie. And this walkie-talkie does come out. Not a whole lot of paint or anything on it, but it does look cool. And then he has this centerpiece that also, actually, let's see. Let's get this pouch off. And the centerpiece, look at that. There's like all kinds of pieces that come off. And you could just kind of put whatever you want on here. He has this, I don't know what this is called, the receiver or microphone or whatever. But you can put that right there and make it look like it's connected to the same area that the walkie-talkie is in, And then you can put some grenades. He has like different types of grenades. And this was kind of like, I was unsure of how this would work because I thought the vest would be too soft. And it is a little soft, but you could still get all this stuff on there without too much hassle. Then he has some more, grenades that you could put somewhere. Put them down here if you want. What else do we have going on? Back here he has a knife sheath, and that's where I stored the knife that we looked at earlier. And then he also has like a whole nother like lower vest piece that you could put on there. So you could remove all this right here and then stick this on here. And in some cases, the pegs on these parts are a little soft, so it's kind of hard to get him in there. Oh yeah, there we go. That all went in there nice. And then this has like some pouches for his, you know, his magazines or whatever you want to put in there. So I just love that we have all these options to change it up and kind of make the figure feel like your own, you know? Yeah, so that's a lot of fun, man. It's a very unique feature to this figure, and all of this works really well. And usually, I don't even cover the stands that come with figures, but this one is awesome, so I wanted to show it off a little bit. I love that it's shaped kind of like a tombstone. Right there, it does say Operation Monster Force. On the front, it says Declan Van Helsing. And yeah, this is really cool, man. It'll be dope to have, like, all these Monster Force figures, like, on these displays on the shelf, you know? Okay, so now for some size comparisons. Here we have Declan Van Helsing alongside the Monster Force Joe Fest exclusive Forgotten King and the Joe Fest exclusive Dracula. And so far, the Monster Force figures are looking really good together. I will be reviewing the standard versions of these two characters later on. But yeah, so far, I do love the way they look. And then here we have them alongside some of my favorite monster figures. On the left, we have the Jada Toys Wolfman, and on the right, we have the Jada Toys Creature from the Black Lagoon. And you know what I thought of when I was messing with these figures? It would be really cool to swap some of the parts over from the Jada Toys figures to the Monster Force figures. Unfortunately, with Van Helsing, you're kind of limited because he does have like the, you know, regular flesh colored arms and neck and stuff. But when we get to some of the other characters, like maybe the Delta Troopers or something, I'm looking forward to popping on some of the Jada Toys parts onto those bodies. I think that will be cool. And then next up, we have him alongside the NECA Mummy and the Mezco 112 Collective Orlok. And I think that he's a little small to go up against the Mummy. I mean, you know, it's monsters, so you could kind of like use your imagination, but he is a little on the small side compared to NECA. I think he works pretty well with the Mezco Orlok though, so you could definitely set up some cool shots there. And then next up, we have him alongside the Mythic Legions, Skeleton Legion Builder 2, and the Mezco 112 Collective Mask. I do have reviews for both of those figures on my channel now. Be sure to check that out. And then, of course, here we have Declan alongside the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. And then next up, we have him alongside my original figure. Here we have Odious from Unparalleled Universe. He is available for purchase now. You can get him at Big Bad Toy Store. I will leave a link to that in the description below. On the opposite side, we have the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Kirby, aka Jack the King Kirby. And as far as Odious goes, I feel like he could definitely fit into the Monster Force world, but I don't know what side he would be on, you know? I don't think he would necessarily side with the Forgotten King or Dracula, or any like team that's dealing with Dracula. Odious would want to take out everybody. And then here we have him alongside one of the Action Force figures, and then on the opposite side, we have the G.I. Joe Classified Grunt. And as you could see, you know, Van Helsing works really well with them, definitely has a similar vibe. So, you know, if you're a big fan of like these soldier heavy lines, I think Declan would definitely fit right in with them. But don't forget, even though he can fit in with regular soldier type of lines, he is a monster hunter. So here he is alongside the Loose Collector Werewolf and the Loose Collector Mr. Hyde. And the articulation on Van Helsing is pretty impressive. Like I mentioned before, it does feel very similar to something like Action Force or G.I. Joe Classified, but there are certain things that this figure actually does better than either one of those lines, so I was happy to see that. And yeah, man, the articulation on him is a lot of fun, and I'm definitely having a good time playing around with this figure. But let's go ahead and see what we have going on here, starting off at the head. So he does have movement at the lower neck and at the upper neck. The lower neck has just a ball joint and the upper neck has a ball hinge. And using both of those, he gets some really good range out of the head and the neck area. Look at that. So that is really good. And then he's able to look up a really nice amount. Damn, yeah, that's awesome right there. Look at that. So really good stuff at the head and the neck. And then obviously he can look side to side. And then we do get some tilting action out of the neck and the head area. So good stuff here at the head and the neck. And then for the torso, as you can see, he does have a vest. But I think they did a really good job of leaving enough room in the vest so that you can pretty much fully use the torso articulation. So even with the vest on, he's able to crunch forward to about right there, which in my opinion, like that's not too bad. I mean, his entire torso is covered and he's still crunching forward a really good amount. And the head and the neck area kind of helps give the illusion that he's crunching more too. So yeah, that is pretty good. Then it goes back to about right there, which again, it's not too bad. We get some side to side action. So yeah, pretty good movement at the torso, even with the vest on. But let's go ahead and take this vest off and see what we have going on. So he does have a diaphragm cut and a ball joint at the waist. I do wish that the waist ball joint got a little bit more range. But yeah, using both of these together, yeah, we get some pretty good movement. It's able to crunch forward to right there. I do wish that it was able to go forward a little more, so maybe I'll modify the waist. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same with or without the vest. So yeah, that's pretty good. And it goes back to about right there. And then we get some nice side to side. And then he can twist at the waist and the diaphragm. So pretty good movement at the diaphragm, but I do wish there was a little bit more range at the waist. And then for the arms, he does have butterfly joints. And this is another area where I feel like his butterfly joints are definitely better than something like G.I. Joe Classified. They often have butterfly joints, but there's usually too much going on with the sculpt and they don't work that well. With him, his butterfly joints work pretty nice. So they get some good range. You can bring his arms back a pretty good amount. You can bring them forward to get into those, punching poses, crossbody action. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Get his arms in front of him. This is always nice. Yeah, so pretty good stuff with the butterfly joints. And then he does have ball joints at the shoulder, so his arms can go all the way around. You could bring them up to the side a really good amount. And then he does have upper bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbow. He has a swivel at the wrist and a hinge at the wrist. Most of the hands just have the standard in and out hinge, but the gun gripping hands do have a vertical hinge, which is nice. And then for the legs, he does have drop down hips. And, drop down hips are cool and everything, but I don't know if they're ever really worth it because I don't know how much it adds to a figure like this. So when you drop the hips down, you could bring his leg up to about right there. And I feel like they probably could have done this same amount without drop down hips, right? Don't you think? But yeah, I still think that's pretty good. He's able to kick up to about right there. And with this leg, if I push it too far, it'll pop out on me. So I could go to about there before it wants to pop out. So that is pretty good range for sure. But I just don't know. I kind of feel like this could have been achieved without the drop down hips. But still, it's not like they cause a problem, so it's all good. And then he's able to kick to the side to about right there. Man, he could kick to the side a really good amount. Damn. That way he could kick like a tall-ass monster. Frankenstein if he needs to. Bam. And then he does have upper thigh swivel. Double jointed pinless knees. And then for the foot, I feel like it should rotate side to side, but it's really tight in there. So I don't know. I may have to heat it up and see what happens. But it feels like it doesn't move side to side. But he does have rocking ankles. You can bring his foot forward to right there and then bring it up to right there. Yeah, so I'm a little, I don't know. We'll see. I might have to warm that up and see what we could figure out in there. But it seems like pretty stuck in there. So after heating this up a bunch and, twisting it a lot and getting some pliers and pulling on things and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, it finally loosened up. So there is a foot swivel in here, so that is good to see. So yeah, the articulation on this guy is pretty damn good. You could definitely get him into a lot of cool poses, and the vest doesn't really get in the way. Alrighty, so overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, I think this is a very cool figure. I love the way it looks. It's got a great design. It's really well sculpted. The paintwork is nice. I really like the whole situation with the vest. All those modular pieces. I like the way that you can kind of switch things up and customize it a little bit and make it feel unique to yourself. That is really fun. The articulation on this guy is great too. You can pose him around. He could get into some nice poses. There's nothing like over the top, but but it's definitely enough for, you know, a military army type of guy, so that works. The accessories are absolutely ridiculous with this figure. He comes with so much stuff, it's pretty surprising. Like all the different hands, the weapons, the muzzle flare effects, all the gear, the stand, all of that stuff is amazing. It's pretty crazy that he gets this much stuff at this price point. That's very impressive. As far as like criticisms go, I don't really have too much to complain about. I think that some of the plug-in features could have been done a little better, especially with the leg pieces. I really wish that my muzzle flare effects weren't bent because it makes them look kind of weird. And also, the leg on mine is super loose. The left leg kind of just flops around. That's a little frustrating. So I may have to get another Van Helsing because I do like the figure and I want one that doesn't have the leg problem. It's not crazy. Like, it's, you know, he's going to be able to stand there. I could play with the figure and all that good stuff, but I just don't like loose legs and loose joints and things like that. So you know, hopefully that's just on this copy. But yeah, I think this is a great figure. And to be honest with you, Van Helsing was probably the one that I was least excited about from Monster Force. So I'm anticipating that I'll like the rest of the wave a lot more. So I'm excited to talk about those. But with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay tuned to watch the rest of the Monster Force reviews that I'll be doing. If you're interested in these figures, you could check them out at Big Bad Toy Store. I'll leave a link to them in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thank you very much. Peace.